Sanbonani, Dumelang, Uchandet, who's it? That was the way my mom used to greet everybody. My chest is so tight, and my throat is like somebody put a rope around my throat. So my emotions are very uncontrollable. But I first want to acknowledge this great honor of standing in front of you representing my mom, our mom, as I've been so oftenly corrected by my brother. Just so that I can make that correction, is because me and my mom, we have so many things in common. Well, we're both girls, we're both singers, we are united in song, but we're also baptized in fire. We both experience those things together, so we have a lot in common. But I was a good observer of my mom. When I was a little girl, I used to say, when I grow up, I'm going to be just like my mother. I'm going to sing and travel all over the world and make people happy with my music. And I am really living the promise I made to myself. So, thank you. So having observed my mom, I could see that music made my mom very happy. It was not about how she sang the songs. It was how she could see the reactions from the audience. Always put a smile in somebody's faces. And so I have taken this gift, this wonderful gift that I've inherited from my mom, and I didn't put it under a table. I took it when I went overseas. I started here. People don't know I started here, my career. Odessa and Don Lindbergh, I did the lead role, and my mom happened to play my mom in those productions. We did Sola Sola. We went to Greece and all these different places. My mom played my mom. So the protection, I guess, I had was that my mom was traveling with me as artist, but she played the role of my mom. So I had that protection, extra protection, of making sure that I lived a decent life. There was no other things that are happening there in our lives. So my mom was looking after me, and I took very good care of my mom. To the point that I'm trying to condense this because the program director said that it's 5 minutes. Every time my mom would come to visit me in Canada, I did not just take my mom and let her sit on the couch and watch television. Every day counted. I make sure that her day counted by telling her stories about the apartheid system. What was it like growing up in the 50s? So the stories I would share with the kids, with my own family, my children, I wanted them to hear it from my mother. But I didn't just stop with my mom. I took my mom into schools in Canada. I took my mom into senior citizens' home in Canada. I took my mom to the Burn Foundations in Canada. I took my mom to the AIDS Foundation. Every place where my mom could speak and inspire people, I took my mom. And so she became alive. But when she came La Ekaya, I noticed that she was withering away musically. Our home is decorated with wonderful acknowledgements of awards. But mommy was like a plant, a beautiful rose or flower. It could look pretty in your house, but if you don't water it, it withers away and it dies. And mom was that kind of a person with a great acknowledgement. If you come to a home, it looked like a museum. If you come to my home in Canada, it looked like a museum. So there's the relationship I had with my mom, is that we complemented each other beautifully. Musically, and my mom taught me isintu. Nandahamba apha since go 1980s. Kodwa abantwana bam, they were born phaya. My kids speak African language, bathetha isiZulu. Nabazukulwane bam bayasikhuluma isiZulu. These songs that my brother was singing, they know the songs. So I've taught my kids. So it's not just talk. Talk is cheap. It's through your actions. So I hope this memorial that we're celebrating my mom's legacy, that I continue to take the baton and run with it. My mom never had managers and agents who worked for her. And so that's when my mom told me, I must invest in my own career. Because if you're waiting for somebody to be your manager and your agent, you'll wait. So that's when I started to get my own company. I started to invest. I started to put bread on people's table. And I also brought Abigail Gupega Auntie Abigail, Sophie Mtrina, passed away, Dorothy Masuku. I brought my mom. They all stayed in my little home in Canada because I kept my promise to them that someday I'm going to bring you to Canada. And I'd like to make a public declaration. Bradimpi, I'm going to bring you to Canada. Mom's duo here that you saw, when we're doing a same tribute in Canada for Mommy, you guys are going to come. Yes. And this is Lengoma Le. This is a song we always used to share with my mom. My mom always tells me she loved me. We use the word I love you, I love you, I love you all the time. So sometimes we'll do it in a song. And my mom would look at me. And she would say, Mtanam, my baby Lorraine, I know how much you love me, but music was a way of putting it in words. And I love you so, my daughter Lorraine. The people ask me how. They want to know how I've lived till now. I tell them I don't know. Mommy, I guess they understand this, how lonely life can be. The shadows follow me, and the nights won't set me free. But I won't let, she won't let the evening get her down. Now that you are all around me, and I love you too, mommy. Your thoughts, they were just for me. I know you set my spirit free, and I love you so. I'm wearing my mom's hat. I'm wearing my mom's shoes. I pluma say I'm getting the locker to my mom. I'm going to get it. And yes, I know nobody loves me. Shadows follow me, and the night will set me free. But I won't let the evening get me down. That's my mom. Now that you are all around, you're around my mommy. Thank you.
Okay. Dit gaat nou aan. Het is niet net speeches aan het ding. Dat gaat het nou aan. Ik denk on sinds is Thandi wat ons allemaal hier is. Als hij gaat zo aan. Thank you very much. We would love to have the grandchildren pay tribute. Mrs. Lydia Vasalotti and Dr. Nandi Pandlovu, please come upstage to pay tribute to the hell of an ideal gogo. Over to you. Let's give them a big round of welcome applause. Abazugulu Pela deserve special treatment. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here and supporting our family. Unlike my mom or my grandmother, I don't sing. And I'm going to keep my speech very short. My grandmother, where to begin? She was a fashionista, an artist, a singer, an actress. She meant everything to a lot of people, and especially to us, her grandchildren. My grandmother is the rock of our family. We look up to her. We try to emulate her in every way possible. And we hope that we made her proud. Today is very difficult. I didn't think it would be this hard, since we don't spend as much time with our grandmother as we would like to. Every year, my grandmother would come to Montreal in the summer to visit, and those were some of my fondest memories. Having her come over and call all of my girlfriends over and tell us about all of her adventures, her concerts all around the world, and all of her adventures in South Africa. Those were some of my fondest memories that we shared with my grandmother. All that we are, all that I am, is because of my grandmother. I try to be a good mother and a good wife, and that's all that I can really do. I'm going to pass the microphone on to my cousin, Dr. Thandi, because at this point, I'm about to start to cry, to be honest with you. So before that happens, I'm going to pass the mic on to my cousin. Grandma, if you can hear me, I love you. You will forever be missed, and I will cherish every memory and moment that we share together. Until we meet again, may you rest in peace.
Afternoon, everybody. I promise not to cry, and I'm going to keep my promise. Afternoon, as I said, all protocol observed. I was told to say that, so here I am saying it. So I'm Dr. Thandi Klaasen, and I'm one of Thandi Klaasen's granddaughters. And I was chosen to come and speak to you today to share just a small snippet of our priceless memories with her. But we called her Smagadi. You knew her as Thandi Klaasen, but she was simply Smagadi to us. Where or how do you begin to describe such a life, such a well-lived life, such an icon, such a star in every sense of the word? My grandmother, during this past week, she has showed me flames. I mean, I've learned amazing things about her. I've seen all the love pouring in. And this week really put everything into perspective for me. And as her family, we knew her as our Smagadi, as I said. She was our comedian, our straight talker. She had this magical power of making wine disappear in a second, you know. She was my personal role model, and she was our unshakable pillar of strength. To the world, though, she was known as the world-famous Thandi Klaasen, the artist, the performer, who was loved by so many people. But I truly believe that the turning point in my grandmother's life was the day of that petrol fire. That day, the fire was set to put an end to her rising star. But they were wrong. They were also wrong, because that was the day when she was truly born. Everyone's got their own turning point in their lives. We can rather choose to pursue it, chase your dream, or you can turn back and you can fail. She did not choose to fail. No, she really didn't. And I think out of this is where we have all, throughout our whole family, have gained our strength from. This is where we all learn to stand proud. And the one important lesson this all taught us all is the power of your friendships. Through her friends, who then became family, they loved her, they supported her, they motivated her to even greater heights. And that is my lesson. Choose your friendships very carefully, because they can either break you or they can make you. And like any good book, it's got all its contributors. And in Smagadi's wonderful book, wonderful stories, she had her friends, she had her family by her side. and they all put together a beautiful and complete story. So, before I get emotional as well, I'm not going to keep my promise. That's my lesson to you all. And as her grandchildren, we were so grateful and we were so blessed to have her as our grandmother and to have her as our guiding light. Smagadi, we will always miss you. We will always love you. And we want to thank you for being our inspiration. Thank you.